Hey everybody, what's up? We're back. It's those wrestling girls. It's your girl Krista B
and Queen PR.
And today is a 2-part episode.
Yes, I like two-parters.
Yeah, well, it's our first 2-part episode.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
I don't know how you like them. It's our first one.
We don't got a time limit, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. So today we will be recapping the first 6 months of 2019.
Yes.
Best wrestling moments, of course, women's wrestling moments from January to June. Mm-hmm. And if we miss out on anything, just let us know in the comments and we can like go back and backtrack, or we can add more to our Patreon. So you have to, you have to literally subscribe to that.
Yes.
So we're going to get started.
So overall, about this year,
it's
how
been
do you
a
compare
good
it
year
to
for wrestling fans, for wrestling female fans, for women wrestlers in general.
I agree.
It's been a phenomenal ass year. I just hope that we can keep it going.
I hope so too. How did it compare to 2018? Because we had Evolution last year.
We did.
We had the first Royal Rumble.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think we got to wait and see how this year kind of turns out. Mm-hmm. Like next year, we got to see if it made a difference. Because we did have a lot of shit happen this year.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like for this year, I feel like the ladies upped it.
I agree.
Like 16 notches from 2018.
I agree.
They proved that the Royal Rumble was not going to be the first and only. Even though we tried to get a second Evolution.
Maybe we will.
Right. We saw a lot of people come back. We saw Trish Stratus come back after her last match.
Yep.
You know, we saw the finally the heel turn of Bayley.
Yes, we had the tag titles introduced in the beginning of the year. So it's been an interesting year. So let's get to it. I'm glad you said the Royal Rumble, because for me, I feel like that's when like the year kind of kicks off. In January. And that was an interesting pay-per-view. We got, before we talk about the actual Royal Rumble, I want to bring up Becky versus Asuka, because I feel like people don't bring that match.
That's such an underrated match. Like
they opened
Royal Rumble.
And Becky tapped to Asuka and lost her SmackDown championship. Like,
I don't as the man, I don't think Becky's tapped. Like Asuka made her tap as the man.
In a different submission than usual.
Right.
So,
super different.
Yeah. So that kicked off Royal Rumble. And I feel like people just kind of like forget that.
They forgot about it because I feel like the reason they forgot about it is because Becky upstaged Becky.
Yes, later that night.
Right, later that night.
Yeah.
And it was just like her coming back full circle, her literally kicking ass.
Yeah.
Even with her knee messed up.
Yeah.
Her knee was messed up because of that unique ass submission. Like, Asuka was about just trying to take Becky out.
And it was great, too, because it looked like she wasn't going to be in the Royal Rumble for a while. It got up to 30. We already knew who 30 was going to be. And then,
which was Carmella.
Yeah. And then Lana tried to come out with her broken foot.
After everybody she fell.
Everybody was like, okay, this is like, how are you going to do this? And then Becky Lynch comes out, and she's allowed in Royal Rumble. And she ends up winning.
Sorry to say, that was kind of predictable for me.
A little bit, yeah.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not frowned upon at all. Like,
and it was Becky's time. I feel like I couldn't imagine anybody else winning. Well, maybe because they always love giving shit to Charlotte, but I couldn't see anyone else winning Royal Rumble this year besides like Becky Lynch. Like, she was always going to be going to WrestleMania, I guess, especially against Ronda, because she couldn't do it at Survivor Series. So yeah, that was a good moment. I love watching that moment. The crowd was going crazy. How did you feel about the actual Rumble match?
I like the actual Rumble match. It was a real fun match.
It opened with Lacey and Natty.
Which is
interesting.
No, I mean then afterwards that storyline just kind of like again. But no, it was a really, really good match. Were there any surprises? I can't remember if there was any surprises from NXT.
Yes,
Rhea Ripley. But
Casey.
that time she was in UK. Yep. She wasn't on NXT here. We had Casey, and Casey was doing the ricochet moves.
She did a lot.
Who else did we have? Rhea, was Toni Storm in it?
I want to say yes.
I want to say yes too. I know she was at Evolution, but I feel like
as many
surprises and call-ups,
or like the legends too, because there were a lot of
Evolution.
Them. Yeah, and there was a lot of them at the last year Royal Rumble too. And then we had Sasha versus Ronda on that card too, which a lot of people say is an underrated match of this year between Sasha and Ronda. And then you had the Sasha put up afterwards. So I rewatched that match ever since everybody was like, that's an underrated match. I was like, okay, let me check it out. And I mean, it's a Sasha Banks match. Like, it's Ronda definitely stepped her game up because I think Ronda knew like Sasha is gonna take her to that limit. So I think it was one of Ronda's better matches that she's had in the company. And then something else pretty epic happened.
My girl Nia Jax was the 4th ever woman in the men's Royal Rumble.
That was
epic. Not only was she there, she took a 619, a RKO, and was it a zigzag or a super kick?
Yes, a super kick.
RKO and a 619.
Yep. She really did.
My
and she
bitch
took it in stride.
She did.
Too.
She did.
Like,
and I feel like it was something that she needed to do because if you guys watch Total Diva, she was really struggling with the fact that the accident that she caused Becky where her face exploded. Yeah. So I feel like it was something that she really needed to do because even with her knees messed up, nobody knew her knees were messed up. And
not at all.
One,
like,
but both
really
of them.
Messed up.
Right. Like by the time she hit WrestleMania, she had no ACL.
Yeah. I can only imagine how much pain that Nia was in throughout all of that.
Right. But Nia's a champ. Like,
yeah, she is.
I've always
Shout out to Nia
Jax.
That's definitely like a top moment.
Right. And if y'all don't recognize that, then y'all sleeping.
Yeah, no,
y'all
seriously. No, stop hating on Nia Jax, guys. Like,
right, please.
That's so last year.
Trash. Yeah, guys are trash for hating on Nia.
So another cool thing that happened was the tag team champions.
Yes.
Sasha Banks and Bayley became the first at Elimination Chamber. We've talked about this before. One of my favorite pay-per-view matches of the year. Like, I think every single tag team was like really fight. Like, they all brought it that night. Like, I loved it.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Well, we already know we kind of was rooting for Sasha and Bayley.
Anything for horsewomen wise for me, I'm rooting. Unless Naomi's in it, which she was. So I was just like, okay, either 4 horsewomen or Naomi and Carmella. Yeah. So I'm good. But then, I don't know. I felt like I wanted them all to win in a sense. Like, I wanted Sonya Deville to win without Mandy Rose. Like, like, let Sonya carry both tag team championships.
No, I'll be perfectly okay with that.
Right.
I'll be perfectly okay with that, honestly. Yeah, that was cool. Elimination Chamber was cool. I didn't realize also that Ronda had a match with Ruby Riott that night. It was like 5 minutes maximum. It was really just to kind of set up the whole Becky being, a rebel when she was suspended and all that kind of stuff.
Is that when she came with her straight hair?
Possibly. Straight hair Becky with the Kill Bill outfit.
The Stone Cold Steve Austin attitude. Like, I can't get enough. I
loved it. So this is a good time to kind of talk about that whole lead in to WrestleMania with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, because that has been a subject of debate of whether or not
Charlotte deserved it.
And also just the whole build up with Becky's leg on crutches forever.
I was rewatching those clips.
I
was rewatching those clips.
Yeah.
Her beating Stephanie's
Her getting
ass.
arrested all the time.
Her beating Triple H ass. It literally brought me back to Attitude Era. Like, it literally was a Stone Cold Steve Austin, Vince McMahon
Y'all not
era.
gonna hold Becky down.
Yeah, y'all not gonna hold her down. Like, I felt like, in the sense that, they trying to tell her if her leg fucked up. Like, what if the doctors be like, no, you can't fight because, and that's when she went to her doctors. Yeah. Like, all right, we're going to go to my doctor. I'm going to go to my doctor. I'm going to see if my knee is good or whatever. But when she kicked Stephanie's ass, sorry, Steph, I love you. But Stephanie,
it was much needed.
We have to shed a spotlight moment for Stephanie.
We should do a spotlight episode on her one day.
Definitty, 2020, y'all, is coming.
Yeah, that would be fun.
But we do have to, because Stephanie takes it as a champ every
does.
time since like day one.
Since
she's been in the ring, she takes it as a champ. Like, she is like the best ever.
Yeah. And she knows that she is going to be the one that's going to take the beating after a while.
And the bumps and bruises, yeah.
And I think she's okay with being that person. So, yeah, I love that.
So I've been rewatching those Becky clips, and I'm just like, damn, Becky built up from what she was 2-3 years prior to what it is now, what she is now. Such a significant ass change.
Oh yeah,
such a significant
the confidence, everything this year with Becky. She's almost like a whole different person. Almost now. Like I don't know if that's like.
It's definitely a good thing. It's a better thing because she was always good.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just a better thing.
You're right. You're totally right. And at Fastlane, which is like the March pay-per-view right before WrestleMania, I always forget about that one for some reason.
Right.
But Becky had to face Charlotte in order to get back into
the
WrestleMania.
BS.
Yeah.
Because she got suspended by Vince.
Yeah. And she won by disqualification, so she ended up back in the main event. So now we know it's going to be a triple threat. We don't know it's going to be a main event yet, but we know it's going to be a triple threat. And then this was the first defense of the women's tag team championships with Bayley, Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax and Tamina. And that was good because I was worried that they might have given Nia Jax and Tamina the belts that soon because everybody jokes about
Sasha
retaining championships is not the best. But it was a decent match.
Yeah, it was a decent match. It was good.
It was really good. I was hoping that this would be the start of something more. But I guess we could get into WrestleMania because you was there.
I was there. And Becky became Becky 2 belts.
She definitely did.
Okay. So WrestleMania comes and... from start to finish in the arena, it was just literally the most deafening thing I was at. Like we've been to shows, house shows, live events, other pay-per-views. It was just so I'm going to describe WrestleMania as my SummerSlam screen. That Raw, that Raw when the Shield came back. That screen times however many sold out MetLife, whatever, 70, 80,000 people. So imagine me screaming 80,000 times.
Oh my God.
That's how.
I can only imagine.
That's how that was. And I'm just like living in the moment. Like literally, I'm having out of body experiences. Yeah. Like, girl, you're really at WrestleMania.
We were so lucky that it was in our hometown.
Right. Because I would have cried. Like, that's something that. And I kept saying, I said, yo, P, we got to go to WrestleMania this year. We have to go. We have to go. P did not come with me. She was with her sister.
Yeah, but it was
a good experience from both perspectives, from where we both were. And if you guys watch Becky's documentary, she said WrestleMania started.
Yeah.
And on one date, it ended on the next day.
Yeah, it totally did. And it ended up on a really good note.
Right.
It really did. You had Kofi Mania.
It was a lot of history being made.
There was a lot of history being made. Were you able to catch the pre-show? The Battle Royal?
No, and I missed it. Okay. We were driving in. I think we were either driving in, looking for, like, we was literally soaking it up.
Yeah.
Like, we literally taking pictures, embracing the fact that this is me and my cousin Cha-Cha's first WrestleMania. Yay. Cliff was with us too.
Yay.
And Cliff's friend or cousin or whoever.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. But I didn't. And when I was rewatching Total Divas, I was like, oh, fuck.
That's a great episode. If you watch one episode of Total Divas this season, watch the WrestleMania episode. It was really good.
Fuck.
Because
like I missed it.
They were all so emotional backstage. And then Carmella ended up winning the Battle Royal.
I did hear that, though, when I was like walking around the stage. I did hear Carmella won. That was a good finish,
too. Because Sarah Logan thought she won. And
Carmella came back and was like,
here, bitch.
And I wouldn't have been mad at Sarah Logan winning.
Me neither. I thought that was a good moment for her. And then you had the championship match for the tag team titles. The Iconics end up winning. But it was dope because you had Beth Phoenix come back to team with Natalya. That was dope. You're not a Beth Phoenix fan?
No, I'm good on that.
I thought
the
that
glam
was
is on
fire,
like that.
I like now is becoming a Beth Phoenix fan rewatching things because that was during like my blind spot when I was not watching at all. Like
not at all.
I completely missed Beth Phoenix. So I became such a Beth Phoenix fan that I'm thinking like, damn, she's in the Hall of Fame. She's never gonna wrestle again. So her coming back to be a tag team, and then her loving the Hart Foundation so much, and
especially being there for Natty,
because
just got
and Natty
inducted.
and he was a part of one of the best tag team, and Natty really wanted a tag team partner to be a part of that, and she got a good WrestleMania moment with Bret Hart coming out. That was cool. Nia Jax gave Tamina a WrestleMania moment,
which was so emotional.
She
on
literally
Tony Divas.
risked her health.
She did
to give, because Nia Jax has defended. She's been in a title match for 2 WrestleManias, which is kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. So she, she had to sit this one out. It wouldn't have been the worst thing. I mean, she would have been disappointed, but Tamina never had a moment. So she was like, you know what, I need to really, and
Tamina's been in the company for 10 years too. So
she deserved it.
Yeah,
that was. I love that moment.
So that tag team match, everybody was like literally on their feet. And this is when I got my seats moved down. Shout out to the plug. Shout out to the plug, Mike. Yeah, so when we saw them, we was ready. Like literally we were ready. And the Raw that literally overcame the stadium when the Iconics came out, you would have thought it was like the Jacksons. Wow. Literally everybody was here for the Iconics.
Nice.
Like
people love
everybody. Okay. Was here for the Iconics. And I'm just like looking around. I'm like, really? Like, why they're like, oh, because they're funny. They bring this and that to the women's division. And I'm just like, but isn't it somewhat of a backtrack too? Because that's what it kind of was before. Like, you're funny, you're cute, you're sexy, you throw this on. Like, is it going to be bra and panty matches now again? Because they're funny and they're, But in watching that match, I actually saw like they were able to display their wrestling skills and their abilities. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I'm not enthused, but but I was upset when they won. I'm not gonna lie. I called you.
Yeah.
And was like,
I didn't want Sasha and Bayley to lose so quick. I was just like, yo, they haven't even done anything with these titles yet.
And they was like going to NXT.
And they wanted to do so much. Yeah.
They were going like literally everywhere to do it. And they had open challenges. But it was like, nothing. No, we're not going to have them defend this tonight. We're not going to, it's like they were not really trying to defend. Like right now, Asuka and Kairi are tag team champions and they haven't defended it as much.
Yeah.
It's like, why make the belts if you're not going to defend them?
And I feel like it gave the Iconics a bad rap because everybody was like, they shaped their opinions on how they carried the titles, and it's like it's not their problem that they wasn't booked to defend them. You know what I mean?
But I also feel like if you're tag team champions, right, or if you're a champion, and if you're any type of champion, I feel like you have more of a say in how you want to be booked or who you want to fight against, because booking them people, when we was in Brooklyn, whatever those Brooklyn girls were, it was just like a mockery of every city that they were in.
I agree.
And then when Paige was like, oh, well, you gonna this, that, and third. Oh, well, I have bird flu. Or I have this. That's why I'm not a huge Iconics fan, especially because the women have fought so hard for this very moment, and now you're turning it into a complete joke.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
I was over it.
Yeah. Well, it sucks because they're like one of the like actual tag teams.
Yeah, they are actual tag teams. That's why
they could wrestle.
That's why I just wanted it to be a more of a defense with those titles for being the fact that they are the actual tag teams. Like Sasha and Bayley, Boston Hug Connection, they had their feuds, they rivaled, they fought, but they're a part of a faction, which that faction carries themselves individually. Yeah. Tamina and Nia, they're only glued together, one, because they're two of the biggest women in WWE. Two, they're related. That's that Samoan dynasty right there. They come from legacy. And three, it just made sense to put them together. Who else was in that match? Was Fire and Desire in that match? No, they were in.
No,
Beth Phoenix and Natty.
Yeah, it was Beth Phoenix and Natty, Nia Jackson, Tamina, Boston Hug, and the Iconics.
Right. So with Boston Hug, not Boston Hug, I'm sorry. Beth Phoenix and Natty, it was like, we're going to pay homage to the Hart Foundation because Anvil just was inducted the night before. Mm-hmm. And Natty wanted to do something in honor of her father. Mm-hmm. So in order for Natty to do that, and everybody who told her no, I'm calling my best friend, and me and my best friend going to ride out and go to the ring. And I already knew, you already knew of rip that they were not going to win. Because technically Beth Phoenix is a Hall of Famer. And for her to hold a title, she would have to come back and sign a wrestling contract. Mm-hmm. Like, she probably just did that for a cute little stipend at that moment. Mm-hmm. And was just like, all right, I'm going to do this for my friend. And for
who wouldn't come back to have a WrestleMania match with their best friend for the tag team championships that just was created?
Exactly. That's dope. So, being that I named those three, and you have the Iconics who's been fighting since their days in Australia. Mm-hmm. Like, who's been literally kicking ass and taking names when they were in NXT. Mm-hmm. For you to come up to the main roster, which is not their fault because I feel like people from NXT who come to the main roster are not properly used if you're not a Four Horsewomen or a Ricochet or the Shield when they were there, Yeah. And for them to turn that into a joke, I'm just like, nah. Like,
I hope they get like a future like serious run with the titles, like where they actually like have like actual matches, like the Kabuki Warriors. But Money in the Bank, I feel like, is when shit really got interesting too, because
how you skip the main event?
We talked about the main event.
We did not.
We did.
We talked about Battle Royale. We talked about
the first thing when we talked about WrestleMania is we talked about Becky 2 belts.
I said,
and how we talk about it all the time.
Right. But if we're recapping, I said, yes, I was there, and that's when Becky became Becky 2 belts.
Yes.
But we didn't talk about Charlotte.
Okay, I just don't know what more else there is to talk about.
But this is a recap. You can't really just skip that. That's the main event. And you says
I'm just saying we talk about it all the time.
I know we talk about it all the time. And I know they're tired of us talking about it all the time. But it is a pivotal moment in history. Mm-hmm. First ever women's triple threat main event. Mm-hmm. Like, Charlotte, who flew in on a freaking helicopter.
Dope.
Becky, who came out with all the swag in the fucking world.
She did. I hated her hair, though.
Oh, no. Her hair was fire. You had to see it in person. Her hair was dope.
It didn't last long, though.
Of course. None of their hair lasts long. Like, what? And then you had Rhonda, who came out to freaking Joan Jett playing her anthem. Like, that was awesome, like, in itself. Like, I think I was more happy to see Joan Jett than
cool.
Ronda Rousey.
And I could tell how happy Ronda Rousey was about it.
Right. And then you have these three women, and for those of you who are not Ronda fans, I still have to give her credit because her moves, her skill sets,
it was good.
Everything literally improved from that first year when she came in through WrestleMania.
Agreed.
So also, people fail to realize that Ronda ended her career with WWE at that year mark at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. She started at WrestleMania. She ended at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Now, the way that it ended, like that pin, whatever, the shit was trash. Mm-hmm. But Becky winning was it
was great.
The most monumental moment in women's history. One of them
it was
ever.
Great.
Like,
it really,
and then
was.
Becky 2 belts was formed. And then it gave that man that extra oomph.
It really did. And she's still the first to hold both at the same time.
And
I don't see them doing that again anytime soon.
Yeah, it wouldn't sound right with anybody else.
It has to be Becky only.
It has to be Becky only.
Yes. But WrestleMania was dope. We have a WrestleMania episode. Please tune into that one.
Shameless plug.
Yes. It's one of our best episodes, I think.
Is.
A lot of people listen to that one.
Because we debated on that one.
We did. We definitely did. And because the reason why I like Money in the Bank is because I feel like this is kind of the start of Bayley kind of her journey into something new or something different. Because we haven't seen Sasha at this point yet. And everyone's like, what's going to happen to Bayley? And she starts showing a more aggressive side.
Oh, yeah, we do have to mention. After WrestleMania, Sasha was no longer.
Oh, yeah. She was MIA for a minute. Yeah. And she ended up winning Money in the Bank, which I was happy that she won. I don't think I shouldn't say anyone. I didn't expect her to win that match. But when she did, I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
I'm with it. But I think what was cool, though, is how they set up Becky losing her belt, because she had to fight
Lacey and Charlotte.
She had to defend both her belts that night. And she ended up...
And it was back-to-back.
Yeah. She ended up retaining her Raw Women's Championship, thank God. And then Charlotte comes out for the SmackDown Championship. And
I think she hit her like a super
Lacey
kick
comes
or
out.
some shit.
Yeah, Lacey comes out, punches her, knocks out.
Right.
Charlotte wins all of a sudden. Has another championship under her belt. And then Bayley comes out.
That made her 10
and
times
cashes
champion,
in. No, I don't think. I think that was like 8 or 9.
That was 9.
Yeah. And then Bayley comes in and cashes in, and she's the SmackDown Women's Champion.
What was your reaction?
I was really happy for her, like, because I felt like Bayley was finally getting some shine a little bit, and what a dope moment to cash in and win Money in the Bank and get the title that same night. I thought it was fire.
I'm trying to. Where were we?
What you mean?
Were we home? Were we at the viewing party? Because
I don't remember.
I want to say we were at Money in the Bank, but I know that wasn't it.
I don't remember exactly where we were watching it.
All I know is that wherever we were, I want to say we were at Legends. That's what I want to say because the crowd's reaction. But maybe I just had my TV up that loud. I don't know, but I was just yelling at the TV, Becky, cash in on Charlotte, cash in on Charlotte. Because not Becky, Bayley, because it made no sense for her to cash in on Bayley. She was already on SmackDown. So when she won that, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Bayley, and then she became a Grand Slam. Like, she's literally won everything. NXT, Women's Tag Team, Raw, SmackDown, Money in the Bank. Like, she literally did everything. So I thought it was good.
Money in the Bank is considered Grand Slam for women?
Yeah, I mean, it's an accomplishment.
Oh, okay.
They do for, like, Seth Rollins and shit. I was just using the same...
Equality, got it.
And I got the Grand Slam shirt.
You do?
And it got Money in the Bank on it,
too. Okay.
But I like that they took a belt off of Becky, personally. Only because I feel like when...
I feel she would have got worn out.
That, and when one woman has 2 belts, it takes that away from a whole nother division. You know what I mean? Then it's like every show's about Becky. And don't get me wrong, I loved Becky at this time, but in hindsight, it's like, okay. And even now, it's still like, okay.
Well, we haven't seen Becky in 2 weeks.
That's true. That is true.
We have not seen Becky in 2 weeks until she did that backstage interview. And she said she had one more debt to collect.
Who do you think that is?
Girl, I don't know. I'm really trying to think, like, who did she not fight yet?
You know what it is, too? I'm very, like, cautious of who takes the belt off of Becky because they also got to feel, like, as much as I'm like, I want the belt off of Becky, they also got to fucking fill those shoes. And that's not easy at all. Like you're constantly always going to get compared to Becky Lynch, you know? So I definitely wouldn't want that.
As long as it's not Charlotte, I'm good.
Same. So I want to talk about the next pay-per-view only because it's interesting, and then we'll just freestyle other moments that we liked. But Stomping Grounds was when Seth Rollins and Becky made their relationship. Around that time, they made their relationship public. Which
was our favorite moment ever.
Yeah, it was so cute. I was like, oh my God.
Ever in wrestling life, like that was just like,
I was like, this is so cute.
Our favorite type moment.
Yeah, they were so cute. And then they faced Lacey and Baron Corbin, and that's when he started referring to himself as the man's man, and it was a hot topic of whether or not their relationship should have been used on TV. What was it cool? Was it not cool? We have a whole episode about that, actually.
Wrestling couples.
You should check that out. And if they should use their real life relationships in storylines. But I think this was fun. I think that was fun. I think especially for, like, if I had a fiance that was a wrestler, I would love to have a storyline with especially both us as champions at the top of our game. Like,
but I like the fact with this storyline, it wasn't like with Becky and Seth, because they was only boyfriend girlfriend at that time. Becky and Seth coming out and using their relationship in the storyline. I like how it played out to show that Seth can take the back while Becky's in the front, have that spotlight instead of something like a Maria and Michael Kanellis. Yeah, you understand? So I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like when it came down to their relationship, I liked how it was used because it was something that really wasn't seen before. And I liked how once it stopped at Stomping Grounds, it kind of ended there. They didn't have to carry it on. Or whatever. I
appreciated that too.
I appreciated that because I'm just like, y'all gonna drag this and we not gonna like it.
Yeah, I'm over it.
And then what if they break up and it gotta be real and fake on TV,
Yeah.
Oh, said the forbidden F word. Sorry, guys. But yeah.
But I hate that. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like, because then from that point on, I feel like everybody compared the two of them. Like, a lot of Seth haters was like, you're not as cool as your girlfriend, or you're just mad because you're not as over as your girlfriend. And it's just like, now we all against Seth.
Now people are against Seth for other reasons.
Popular, But even I feel like back then is when like people kind of like turned on him a little bit because everybody kept comparing them,
I guess. I mean, I didn't feel that way, no.
See, I personally didn't think so, but Twitter thought so.
I mean, we also got an episode on toxic Twitter wrestling.
We definitely do. We probably need a 2-parter.
Yeah, that may be another one because, Lord, toxic Twitter is real. It's a real thing.
But I think the first 6 months of this year was good for women's wrestling. I think it was good. I think it was
Stomping Ground was in June?
Stomping Ground was in June.
Oh, so first 6 months down.
Yep.
First 6 months.
It was good. Some other stuff that happened in that time. The Riot Squad broke up.
Yeah, because Liv Morgan got transferred to SmackDown.
And then they did during the Shield's final thing, they did like a farewell match for the Riot Squad as well, which they do not make known at all, which is interesting because I didn't watch the Shield's final chapter. I wasn't interested in it, but if I would have knew that the Riot Squad was having their last match, I would have tuned in or something. They kind of
I'm pretty sure it's on the app.
Yeah, but they don't. No, I'm saying they don't talk about it a lot. Like the Riot Squad's having their final match. They didn't announce it until the actual event. So if you weren't watching the event, it was kind of like now but they didn't say
right.
The Riot Squad is gonna be breaking up. So that kind of sucked. Ronda Rousey left. Sasha Banks went on hiatus.
And then came back
later on in the year. And it's weird because from January to June, it was like no one knew what was going to happen. Like there was so many rumors on Twitter about Sasha Banks having a temper tantrum during WrestleMania when her and Bayley found out they had to lose the championships and all of the rumors that was going on at that time. Maria Kanellis came back with Mike.
With her bitch.
Kanellis. The 24/7 championship came through.
We had a Raw reunion. We had a lot in the first 6 months of women's wrestling. Wrestling in general. We had a lot.
Yeah.
I am so grateful that we were able to experience a lot of these moments. Even the Shield farewell we were there for, even though we're not talking about men's wrestling. It was just like a moment, a notable moment to experience.
Totally.
It was right in Brooklyn. Totally. I cried. I need Dean Ambrose back.
I know.
I love the fact how learning and rewatching Total Divas that you got an insight. I never knew that Nia was in WrestleMania for Tamina while she was in pain. Sasha Banks was literally backstage at WrestleMania crying before she came out for her match. Ronda Rousey, we all know she wants to have babies.
Yeah.
Naomi, who is now presently absent. I feel like she's trying to find her way again. Yeah. Carmella stepped her game up. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose.
Her and R-Truth did a lot this year. That was fun. She won the Mixed Match Challenge. That's why she was number 30 in the Royal Rumble. Another interesting thing I want to talk about to close out this first part is something big that happened was Ronda Rousey's comments about how everything is fake. And then we got an insight on that through Total Divas too, because she was just, in her mind, she was, you know,
talking
just
as Ronda Rousey,
yeah,
the character,
and doing what she needed to do to create interest, like she would do if she was main eventing UFC. You know, she hit below the belt. She did what she felt like she had to do, and that was something that a lot of people were upset about, because they were just like, she doesn't respect wrestling. She's not protecting kayfabe. She's not doing all of this.
Okay, one thing. Kayfabe is dead. Duh.
It's been dead.
There's no such thing as kayfabe anymore.
It's been dead.
We need to let that word go.
Yeah.
We have social media. We have phones. We have pictures. We have paparazzi. We have all of that.
Yeah.
Kayfabe is dead. It's gone. It's not coming back.
No. Oh, the Bellas released a podcast.
Bellas released a podcast and officially retired. Did they officially retire this year?
Yeah. It seems like they're going to talk about it on the season finale, because they're going to throw like a retirement party or something, or something like that.
Retired.
Yeah. Sad times. But I think, yeah, it was a good first 6 months. It was like must-watch TV. Mm-hmm. Like, because the build-up to WrestleMania was always something, so you had to literally watch every single week, because you didn't know what was going to happen. Charlotte and Becky and Ronda getting arrested. Like, there was a lot of fun stuff that happened in that year.
Yep.
It makes me excited about next episode, too.
So for your next our next episode, we will be doing the second part. So from July to December. And being that our decade is almost over. Decade is almost over, yo. I can't believe it. I
know.
That's episode maybe a little bit longer. Yeah. So we can kind of
totally and
bring
look out
everything in.
We're gonna be putting out kind of a vote sheet for the best of 2019. So maybe we'll talk about the results of those votes.
Yeah, if we don't talk about it on the show, we'll definitely talk about it on our Patreon.
Yes. Who was the best of everything?
Right.
This year.
So thank you guys for tuning in again.
Yes.
It was fun. This is chapter 1. Chapter 2 will be coming soon. And on that note, it's your girl, Krista B.
And Queen PR.
And we are out.